Hello, welcome everyone. Today we are going to present our research project called Engaging Teacher Studying Interaction through Artificial Intelligence and Gamification in EFL Classroom. This project was done by Tatiana Cristancho Vanegas and Diego Mauricio Santos Gomez. This project focuses on the use of artificial intelligence and gamification in English classes, and how these tools can improve interaction, participation, and motivation among students. Our research question is: in what ways does the combined use of artificial intelligence and gamification contribute to the effectiveness, inclusivity, and quality of teacher-student interaction in foreign language classroom in Colombian schools? With this question, we want to explore how technology can support better learning experience in English classes. In our educational context, we identify several problems during English lessons. Many students showed low motivation and limited participation, especially during speaking activities, and some students were afraid of making mistakes or speaking in front of their classmates. And we also observed that traditional teaching methods sometimes made classes repetitive and less engaging. Although students use technology daily outside school, it was not always integrated meaningfully into classroom activities. Because of this situation, we consider it necessary to explore more dynamic and interactive teaching strategies. The general objective of this study is to analyze how artificial intelligence and gamification can improve teacher-student interaction, inclusivity, and engagement of in EFL classroom. And some of our specific objectives are promoting active participation, supporting personalized learning through AI, encouraging meaningful interaction, and creating more inclusive learning environments. We also want to understand students' perceptions about the use of AI and gamification in English classes. For our literature review, we analyze different authors and studies related to artificial intelligence, gamification, engagement, and inclusivity. For example, Tsai and Krakik in 2024 explained that AI can support adaptive learning and personalized feedback. Horn states that AI can improve language learning experience by adapting activities to the students' needs. Claro and colleagues explains that gamification increases students' motivation and participation through game-like activities. And we also included UNESCO's concept of inclusive education, which promotes equal opportunities for all learners. And finally, theory explains that students learn better when they feel engaged and motivated during the classes, the activities.
Now, let's talk about the key concepts. I will explain the main concepts that guided our research project about the use of artificial intelligence and gamification in English language classrooms. The first concept is artificial intelligence, or AI, which refers to digital tools that can simulate human interaction and provide immediate feedback to students. In our project, AI was considered as a support tool to improve learning and classroom interaction. The second concept is gamification. This means using game elements such as points, quizzes, and challenges in educational context to increase motivation and participation. Another important concept is engagement, which refers to the student's interest and active participation during classroom activities. We identified that both AI and gamification can make English classes more dynamic and interactive. We also included inclusivity because technology can help support students with different learning styles and levels of English proficiency. Finally, teacher student interaction was one of the central concepts of our study. We wanted to analyze how AI and gamification could strengthen communication and participation between teachers and students in English classes. Our study follows a qualitative research approach. We selected this type of research because our objective was not to measure numerical data, but to understand students' experiences, opinions, and perceptions regarding the use of artificial intelligence and gamification in English classes. Additionally, we used an action research approach. This means that the research was connected to a real educational context and aimed to identify a classroom need and propose a practical intervention to improve the learning experience. In our case, the intervention focused on increasing interaction and participation in English lessons. And regarding the purpose of the study, one of our main goals was to improve classroom interaction, especially teacher student interaction during the English activities. We also wanted to explore how students perceive the use of technology, including AI tools and gamified activities, in their learning process. So overall, this methodological design allowed us to better understand students' needs while also proposing practical strategies that can be applied in real classroom settings. The participants of the study were secondary school students from 8th to 11th grade between the ages of 14 and 16 years old. The English proficiency level was around A2 level. These students were selected because they are currently learning English and have experience using technology in educational context. Regarding the instruments, we use several qualitative data collection methods. First, classroom observations were conducted to identify students' participation, interaction, and behavior during English activities. This allowed us to better understand the classroom dynamics, and we also used reflection questionnaires to collect students' opinions and perceptions about the use of artificial intelligence and gamification in English classes. In addition, the field notes were used to document important observations, reactions, and classroom situations during the research process. And finally, informal conversations with students provided additional insights into their experiences and attitudes toward technology supported learning. Together, these instruments helped us gather detailed and meaningful information for our study. These are the intervention activities that we designed for our research project. The activities were created to be practical, brief, and easy to implement within the limited time remaining in the academic semester. Uh, the first activity was gamified vocabulary review using platforms such as Kahoot and Quizzes. These tools allowed students to review vocabulary and grammar topics through interactive quizzes and competitions. The purpose of this activity was to increase motivation, participation, and engagement during English lessons. The second activity focused on AI supported speaking activities. In this part of the intervention, the teacher used ChatGPT to generate short conversational prompts and speaking questions. Students participated orally by answering questions and interacting with the teacher during guided classroom discussions. This activity aimed to promote teacher student interaction and create a low pressure environment for speaking practice. Finally, the intervention included a reflection and feedback stage. Students participated in classroom discussion and completed short questionnaires about their experiences using artificial intelligence and gamification in English classes. Overall, these activities were designed to support interaction, motivation, and meaningful participation in the English classroom. Now, talking about the results, one of the main expected results is higher student participation during English lessons. Through gamified activities and interactive tasks, we expect students to become more involved and willing to participate in classroom activities. Another expected outcome is better teacher student interaction. By using AI supported speaking activities and collaborative tasks, the classroom environment can become more communicative and dynamic. We also expect increased motivation. Many students tend to feel more interested and engaged when technology and game elements are integrated into the learning process. In addition, we hope to promote a more inclusive environment where students with different learning styles and proficiency levels feel comfortable participating. However, the intervention may also present some challenges. One important limitation is the availability of technological resources, since not all schools or students have equal access to devices or internet connection. Another challenge is the need of the teacher training. Educators must know how to use AI and gamification effectively in order to create meaningful learning experiences. And finally, some students may feel insecure speaking English, especially during interactive activities. For this reason, it is important to maintain a supportive and respectful classroom environment. Conclude, this research project allowed us to explore the impact of artificial intelligence and gamification in English as a foreign language classrooms. One of the main conclusions is that AI and gamification can positively contribute to EFL learning by increasing student motivation, participation, and interaction during classroom activities. The integration of interactive tools such as Kahoot, quizzes, and ChatGPT helped create more dynamic and engaging learning experiences for students. Another important conclusion is that interactive activities can significantly improve student engagement. When students feel motivated and actively involved in classroom tasks, they are more willing to participate and communicate in English. At the same time, our research suggests that technology should support teachers rather than replace them. The teacher continues to play an essential role in guiding activities, providing emotional support, and facilitating meaningful interaction in the classroom. Finally, this project highlights the importance of innovation and inclusivity in education. Educational technologies can help create more flexible and supportive learning environments that respond to students' different needs and learning styles. Overall, this study demonstrates that the balanced integration of AI and gamification can enhance English language learning experiences in meaningful ways.